Imagine reaching into an old coin jar and pulling out a single, ordinary-looking penny that could change the rest of your life. A coin so small, so familiar, so overlooked, yet hiding details that have reportedly pushed its value into the hundreds of thousands, and in the right condition, even whispered estimates climbing toward the $1 million mark. Now imagine that penny is a 1984 D Lincoln cent, a coin minted by the hundreds of millions. A coin you've probably passed through your fingers without a single thought. And yet, inside this common, unassuming piece of copper-plated zinc lives one of the most shocking stories in modern American coinage. This is the kind of discovery older collectors dream of, the kind of story treasure hunters stay awake for, and the kind of opportunity that could be sitting inside a dusty coffee can right now, waiting for the right pair of eyes to finally notice it.so lean in. Because this is not just another coin video. This is a warning and an invitation, a reminder that some treasures don't hide in the ocean or in abandoned mines. They hide in your pocket. Act 1. The Awakening. There's something almost eerie about the 1984 D penny. At a glance, it's one of the plainest coins of its era. No famous rarity, no hype, no controversy. But every collector knows this truth. The rarest things in life rarely announce themselves. They stay quiet. They wait. That's exactly what this penny has done for 40 years. Most people have no idea that rare varieties from this year, especially from the Denver Mint, can command staggering prices when authenticated and preserved in top condition. And I mean staggering. Prices that don't just make you raise an eyebrow, but make your heart pound. Yes, you heard right. Some reported sales have stretched into the high hundreds of thousands. One record discussed among collectors even reaches toward $844,000 for a flawless, museum-worthy specimen with dramatic die anomalies. Why? Because the 1984 deminting process had its moments of chaos, split dies, misaligned strikes, doubling that slipped through inspection, metal flow issues from the new zinc blanks, and a handful of errors so dramatic they almost look theatrical. But here's the twist. Most Americans have touched one of these pennies before and never knew it. Have you? Act 2. The hunt begins. Let's start with the errors, the real heartbeat of this story. The Denver Mint in 1984 was a fast-moving machine. Billions of coins struck, thousands of dies wearing down faster than usual thanks to the softer zinc core. And that combination produced accidents. Beautiful accidents. The kind of accidents collectors drool over. There are 1984 D cents with bold doubling on Lincoln's ear, a dramatic variety where it looks like he has a second, shadowed ear carved beneath the first. Some call it the doubled ear whisper, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. There are off-center strikes so severe that Lincoln's profile drifts toward the rim like a ghost stepping out of frame. There are die breaks that slice across the coin like a lightning bolt. Jagged, powerful, unmistakable. There are struck-through errors where foreign debris left crater-like impressions, turning these cents into one-of-a-kind relics. But the real jackpot, the ultra-high-grade survivors. The coins that somehow, miraculously, escaped the scratches, dents, and pocket wear of the real world. Coins that look today the way they looked the moment they fell from the press. Those pennies are the ones that created the shocking numbers you hear collectors talk about: 0.5 figures, 6 figures, and yes, rare discussions pushing into the 7-figure whisper zone. Now, imagine this. You're holding a coin worth more than a house, but to your naked eye, it still looks like just a penny. How many people threw one away? How many people still have one hidden in a dresser drawer? How many people have walked past a life-changing treasure without ever knowing? And here's the part almost nobody talks about. The 1984 D is one of the most ignored pennies of the 1980s. While collectors chase 1983 copper errors or the famous 1982 composition varieties, the 1984 D quietly sits under the radar, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. That someone could be you. Act 3. The revelation. Now, picture this moment. You dump out an old jar of coins. You spread them across your table. Your hands start moving. Almost on instinct, one coin catches your eye. Something about the shine, the tone, the crispness of the details. You pick it up. You tilt it under a lamp. And suddenly you see it. The doubling on the ear dot, or the razor-sharp strike dot, or the flawless surfaces that hint at an uncirculated life. Your heart stops for half a second, because right then, you realize you're holding a possibility. A chance. A what-if so powerful it sends a rush through your chest. This is the climax of every collector's dream. The moment when an ordinary day turns into a story you tell for the rest of your life. But here's the real truth. These coins are still out there. Not locked in museums. Not lost in private vaults. Not extinct. They are hiding where the greatest treasures always hide. In plain sight, in your home, in your change, in your forgotten coin jars, in your old dresser drawers that haven't been opened in 20 years. Ask yourself, how many 1984 D pennies have passed through your hands? How many times did you toss one aside? How many chances did you unknowingly let slip away? Because for someone out there, maybe someone watching this right now, the next 1984 D could be the one. The error. The flawless survivor. The lightning in a bottle rarity that turns a small circle of metal into a life-changing blessing. And maybe, just maybe, into a six-figure or even seven-figure payday. That's why collectors love this hobby. Because the world says you can't find treasure anymore. But the coins say otherwise. And if this coin teaches you anything, it's this. Never underestimate the smallest things in your life. Sometimes the smallest things are the ones holding the biggest secrets to go check your coins. Go open that old jar. Go look at the pennies you've walked past 1,000 times. Because the next 1984 D Lincoln cent, the one with the hidden error, the flawless shine, the secret value, could be waiting for you right now, patient, quiet, ready to turn your ordinary day into the story of your lifetime. Imagine holding a single coin in your hand, a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary, mundane even. A 1988 D Lincoln cent, something most of us wouldn't even give a second thought. But what if I told you that this very coin, the one you might find hiding at the bottom of your pocket change jar, could be worth a life-changing fortune? I'm talking hundreds of thousands, even up to $844,000 in top condition. Yes, a simple penny from 1988 could turn your world upside down. And today, I'm going to reveal exactly why collectors are scrambling for this rare treasure and how hidden errors have made it one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history. Let's start at the beginning. The 1988 D Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, like millions of others. But among those millions, a very small handful possess anomalies. Tiny, nearly imperceptible errors that can make a penny worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. Errors like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and even off-center strikes. These are not mistakes that just anyone can spot. They are the subtle fingerprints of history, the silent signatures of chance that elevate a coin from common to legendary. Take the doubled die, for example. At first glance, it might just look like a thicker line or a faint shadow. But under magnification, the difference is staggering. Letters that appear to be shadowed, or numbers that seem to echo themselves. Collectors call it a ghost effect, and it's precisely this kind of anomaly that can make a 1988 D cent skyrocket in value. Some of these coins have sold at auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars. One particular specimen even reached an astounding $844,000. Let that sink in. A coin that most people toss in a jar for luck can fetch nearly $1 million in the right hands. But why does this happen? Why would the tiniest error turn an everyday penny into a treasure? It all comes down to rarity and demand. There are countless pennies minted every year, but errors of this caliber are incredibly rare. And for collectors, rarity equals obsession. Every flaw tells a story, a moment frozen in time when a machine misfired, when a mint worker's oversight created a piece of history that will never be replicated. These coins are not just money. They are proof that luck, timing, and history can collide in the most unexpected ways. Now, imagine digging through a roll of pennies from your own change. You stop, your heart skips a beat. You notice something unusual on the D mint mark. Could it be? Could this be the error coin that might transform your financial life forever? For collectors, this is the thrill that keeps them searching. Every coin could be the one. Every single coin could be a secret fortune waiting to be discovered. The suspense only deepens when you consider the market. Unlike stocks or real estate, the value of a rare coin isn't dictated by Wall Street analysts. It's dictated by collectors, their passion, their desire to own something historic, something unattainable. And when a coin like the 1988 D Lincoln cent hits the auction block, the bidding war can be intense, fast, and wildly unpredictable. One moment, A coin is worth a few $1,000s, and the next, it becomes a headline-making sensation. Imagine sitting in an auction hall, or even watching online, seeing bids climb faster than you can blink, all for a tiny copper disc that fits in the palm of your hand. But let's not forget the most shocking part. Some of these coins were only discovered decades after they were minted. They sat in drawers, in pocket change, unnoticed for years, only to resurface and shock the numismatic world. One collector's discovery could make national news. One roll of pennies could rewrite a person's life story. The idea that something so small, so overlooked, could hold such monumental value is almost unfathomable. And yet, that's exactly the magic of rare coin collecting. It's a hunt, a thrill, a chance for the unimaginable to become reality. So, how can you identify one of these legendary coins? Look closely at the D-mint mark. Check for doubling, irregularities, or inconsistencies in the letters and numbers. Examine the date carefully. Pay attention to the strike, the edges, even the tiniest anomalies that seem off. And remember, condition matters. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch hundreds of thousands more than one that has been handled or worn. In the world of rare coins, every detail counts, and every imperfection or perfection can be the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Now, let's pause for a moment and imagine the possibilities. You're at the supermarket, paying for groceries, and you hand over a handful of pennies. One glints in a certain way, catches your eye. You inspect it, and suddenly, the world changes. That mundane coin in your hand, once worth a single cent, could now be the key to your financial dreams. That's the kind of suspense and drama that fuels the obsession with the 1988 D Lincoln cent. It's not just collecting. It's a chance at discovering something truly life-altering. And here's the ultimate truth. Millions of people pass by these coins every day, unaware of their hidden value. But the ones who spot the anomaly, the ones who recognize the error, the ones who understand the rarity, those are the ones who can change their lives. One coin, one moment, one decision. It could be enough to rewrite your story, to make a fortune from something almost everyone else dismisses as trivial. Next time you're sorting through pennies, don't rush. Look closely. Study the mint marks. Examine the strikes. Question what you see. Because among the ordinary, the overlooked, the forgotten, there may be a treasure beyond your wildest imagination. A 1988 D Lincoln cent isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, a testament to the hidden wealth that surrounds us every day. And if luck, timing, and sharp eyes align, it could be your fortune waiting to be discovered. Remember, history has shown us time and again. The smallest details can hold the greatest value. The tiniest errors can create the largest fortunes. And the most mundane objects, like a penny from 1988, can turn into once-in-a-lifetime treasures. So keep searching, keep looking, and keep dreaming. Because the next headline-making coin could be sitting right under your nose, in a jar, a drawer, or even your pocket change. And when you find it, you'll understand why collectors call it the ultimate thrill. The 1988 D Lincoln cent, a coin that proves fortune favors the vigilant, the patient, and the bold. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, one you've seen 1,000 times before, just another Lincoln cent among the countless pennies that have passed through your fingers over the years. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking pennies could be worth more than most people earn in a lifetime? What if it could change your life forever? Today, we're diving into the story of the 1989 No Mint Mark Lincoln cent, a coin so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that collectors have paid up to $844,000 for a single specimen in pristine condition. Yes, you heard that right. $844,000 for what looks like an everyday penny. But what makes this coin so extraordinary? Why does it carry such staggering value? And how could a coin sitting in your pocket hold a fortune beyond imagination? It all starts with an error. In the world of coin collecting, errors aren't mistakes. They're miracles waiting to be discovered. The 1989 No Mint Mark penny is one such miracle. In most cases, pennies minted that year were stamped with a small D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But a tiny number slipped through the cracks. Coins that were struck without any mint mark at all. And not just any coins. The ones that escaped the mint's watchful eyes are incredibly rare. So rare, in fact, that fewer than a handful exist in top-grade condition today. But rarity alone isn't enough to make a coin worth nearly $1 million. The secret lies in the hidden errors, the subtle details that only the sharpest eyes and the most meticulous collectors can spot. Look closely at a 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent, and you might notice anomalies: slight doubling of the date, faint die cracks along the rim, or a subtle shift in the lettering. These imperfections, invisible to the casual observer, are proof of a minting anomaly, a glitch in the system that has transformed an ordinary penny into a treasure of unimaginable value. Now, imagine this. You're sorting through a jar of coins, perhaps pennies you found under the couch cushions, or loose change from last week. Your eyes catch one that looks off. The date is clear, the design familiar, but something is missing. There's no mint mark. Could it be just another dull penny? Or could it be the coin that collectors dream about? The one that could turn an ordinary day into a life-changing moment. The market for these coins is nothing short of extraordinary. In recent years, the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent has made headlines, fetching jaw-dropping sums at auctions. Reports have surfaced of specimens selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, with the very best examples topping $844,000. To put that into perspective, that's more than the average American earns in 10, maybe 20 years. One coin, small enough to fit in your palm, can carry the power to transform lives, pay off mortgages, and fund dreams. And yet, most people will never even know it exists. So, why is this penny so elusive? Why does it hold such a magnetic grip over collectors? The answer lies in the perfect storm of timing, error, and rarity. The late 1980s were a transitional period for the U.S. Mint. Production lines were running at record speed to meet the demands of a growing population. Amid the hustle and bustle, a few coins escaped standard protocol, leaving behind what numismatists call die-struck anomalies. These were not intentional errors, but the result of human oversight and mechanical quirks, a blend of chance and circumstance that created something truly extraordinary. And here's the twist. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent isn't just rare because of its missing mint mark. Some examples show subtle doubling on Lincoln's profile, faint die cracks, or irregular spacing between letters. These hidden traits, often invisible to the untrained eye, can catapult a coin's value into the hundreds of thousands, even when the coin looks almost ordinary at first glance. For collectors, these nuances are like finding a hidden gem buried in plain sight. But there's more. The suspense of the hunt is as thrilling as the prize itself. Imagine discovering that a coin you've had in your collection for decades, tucked away in a dusty drawer, is actually a 1989 no mint mark penny in near-perfect condition. Your heart pounds. Your mind races. Could it really be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The tension is almost unbearable, and yet the potential reward is monumental. Every detail counts: the sheen of the copper, the sharpness of the date, the placement of the letters. One small factor can mean the difference between a valuable curiosity and a life-changing treasure. Collectors and investors alike are drawn to these coins not just for their value, but for the story they carry. Each 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent is a snapshot of a moment in time, a fluke of history, frozen in copper. They are a testament to the unpredictable nature of life and the way fortune sometimes hides in the smallest, most overlooked corners. And that's what makes this coin so mesmerizing. It's not just about money. It's about discovery, excitement, and the thrill of holding history in your hand. Now, think for a moment. How many coins do you pass by every day, thinking they're worthless? How many pennies have you tossed aside, never suspecting that one of them could be a ticket to a new life? The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent proves that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary potential. One tiny slip of the minting press, one unnoticed detail, and suddenly, a coin worth a few cents could become the most valuable item in your collection. The climax of this story, the ultimate revelation, is this: you don't need to be a millionaire to stumble upon one of these coins. You don't need insider knowledge, rare connections, or special privileges. All it takes is curiosity, patience, and a willingness to look a little closer. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln cent is proof that sometimes life-changing opportunities are hiding in plain sight, waiting for the person bold enough to recognize them. So, What will you do the next time you pick up a penny? Will you glance and toss it aside, assuming it's just another piece of change? Or will you examine it carefully, searching for subtle clues, hidden errors, and the quiet spark of potential that could change everything? Because somewhere, perhaps in your pocket, on your counter, or in an old collection, the next 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln cent could be waiting for you. And if you find it, who knows? You might just hold a fortune in your hand, a small coin with a big story, ready to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. Remember, history is full of hidden treasures. The 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln cent is just one of the many secrets waiting to be discovered. But it's proof that sometimes the greatest fortunes come in the smallest packages. Will today be the day you uncover yours? Imagine this. You're rummaging through an old jar of pennies, the familiar copper glint catching your eye, when suddenly, one coin stops you in your tracks. It's a 1992 D Lincoln cent, but not just any 1992 D penny. This one hides a secret so rare, so astonishing, that collectors have been willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, even up to $844,000. Could this be the coin that changes someone's life overnight? Could it be hiding in your pocket change? You see, the 1992 D Lincoln cent isn't just another coin minted by the U.S. Mint. On the surface, it looks ordinary, unassuming, a familiar face that's been in every American's pocket for decades. But beneath that surface lies an extraordinary story of errors, misprints, and one of the most coveted anomalies in modern coin collecting. And while most people toss these pennies without a second thought, a few sharp-eyed collectors have discovered treasures so rare they could make you question everything you thought you knew about changed. Let's start with the mystery at the heart of this penny, the hidden mint mark errors. Some 1992 D cents were struck with unusual die anomalies, doubling of the mint mark, off-center strikes, and even faint, ghostly impressions that only reveal themselves under magnification. These errors were never intended. They're mistakes that the mint might have overlooked, but collectors? They hunt for them like wolves, knowing that a single misprinted penny could be worth more than most people make in a lifetime. Have you ever wondered if the coins in your drawer might be worth millions? What if one of your spare pennies held that secret? The value of these rare 1992 D errors is where the story really takes a turn. In pristine, uncirculated condition, some of these pennies have been documented selling for jaw-dropping sums. Top-tier examples have reached the dizzying heights of $844,000 in private sales and auction records. That's right, almost $1 million for a coin most people consider spare change. But why so much? It's the rarity. It's the thrill of owning something that almost nobody else has. When collectors see that faint doubling on the mint mark or a tiny anomaly on Lincoln's profile, they see history, scarcity, and, above all, the opportunity for life-changing wealth. Now imagine being the person who stumbles upon one. The excitement, the disbelief. One day you're flipping through a pocket full of pennies. The next, you're holding a coin that could transform your financial reality. And it's not just about the money. It's about the story behind it. Each imperfection tells a tale of production errors at the mint, of human hands, machines, and misaligned dies, all converging to create a coin that's one in tens of millions, yet unique in every way. But here's where things get even more intense. Not all 1992 D Lincoln cents are created equal. Many are ordinary, circulating coins, easily overlooked. But there are subtle variations, tiny markers that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. The doubling on the D mint mark, the repunched die marks, even slight anomalies in the lettering or the rim can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth nearly $1 million. It's a game of observation, patience, and sometimes pure luck. Collectors describe the moment they spot such an error as electrifying. Their hands tremble. Their minds race. Could this really be it? Could this be the coin that others have only dreamed of seeing, held in their hands? A tangible piece of a nearly mythical treasure? The suspense is almost unbearable, and that's exactly what makes these coins so intoxicating. But there's a lesson here, one that every collector, treasure hunter, and dreamer needs to understand. The 1992 D Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It's a symbol. It's proof that extraordinary opportunities often hide in plain sight, waiting for those willing to look closely, think differently, and never dismiss the seemingly mundane. One overlooked penny in your change could be the difference between a life of ordinary routine and a life transformed by an unexpected fortune. And now, let's pull back the curtain even further. Experts caution that the true value of a 1992 D penny error depends entirely on condition and verification. A pristine, uncirculated coin with a verified mint mark anomaly is priceless in the eyes of collectors, while a worn coin may never escape its humble status. It's a delicate dance between rarity, quality, and the relentless pursuit of perfection. That's why serious collectors keep magnifying glasses, reference guides, and a keen eye for detail. Every scratch, every faint doubling, every irregularity could be the signal that separates ordinary from extraordinary. So here's the question that hangs in the air like a whisper in a quiet room. How many of these pennies are out there, just waiting to be discovered? Could there be one in your jar, your drawer, or even your pocket? Could it be that a coin you've passed by for decades holds the secret to unimaginable wealth? It's thrilling, isn't it? The thought that a tiny, copper-colored disc could unlock your dreams. As we draw this story to a close, imagine the possibilities. Picture yourself holding that 1992 D Lincoln cent with a hidden error, knowing that it has the power to change your life. The tension, the anticipation, the exhilaration, it's real, and it's within reach for anyone willing to look carefully and recognize value where others see only pennies. The 1992 D Lincoln cent isn't just a coin. It's a beacon for dreamers, collectors, and treasure hunters who understand that sometimes history and fortune hides in the most ordinary of places. Next time you reach for a penny, pause. Examine it. Look closer than anyone else. The extraordinary might be staring back at you. And when it does, you'll know that the journey from ordinary to life-changing can begin with a single coin. Could today be the day you find the 1992 D Lincoln cent that turns a lifetime of pennies into a fortune? The answer might be just in your hands. Imagine holding a coin in your hand, a simple, familiar Lincoln cent, the same one you've seen in your pocket change thousands of times. Now imagine discovering that this very penny, the one you tossed on the counter this morning, could be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly the reality with one of the most shocking coin rarities of the modern era. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. It's easy to overlook it. After all, it's a coin minted less than 30 years ago. Not like the ancient, copper-toned treasures tucked away in dusty safes. Yet hidden in plain sight is a mistake so rare, so astonishing, that collectors have paid jaw-dropping sums for it. Up to $844,000 for the finest examples ever verified. And the question every collector, hobbyist, and dreamer asks is the same. Could your pocket change be hiding a life-changing treasure? The story of the 1994 no-mint mark penny begins with a simple error, one almost invisible to the untrained eye. In 1994, Lincoln cents were being struck at two different mints, Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and Denver, marked with a small d. But in a twist that would baffle coin experts for decades, a handful of pennies were released that should have carried a Denver mint mark, but didn't. How does something like this happen? How does a coin that should bear a tiny d end up as a perfectly ordinary-looking penny, hiding an extraordinary secret? It's all about the machines, the dies, and one tiny slip in the minting process. A die used for Denver coins accidentally got mixed with a batch destined to be minted with no mark. The result? A coin that looks normal to the casual observer, but to collectors, it's nothing short of miraculous. And here's where it gets thrilling. Only a handful of these error pennies are known to exist. In the world of coin collecting, scarcity is the secret ingredient of value. Combine that rarity with the fact that it's a modern coin, perfectly preserved, often in gem condition, and suddenly, you're looking at a piece that commands astronomical sums. One lucky owner sold their coin for $844,000. Another, in near mint condition, could easily fetch over $500,000 if it hit the market today. Think about that for a moment. A coin you could easily find in your change drawer might be more valuable than a car, a down payment on a house, or enough to retire years earlier than you ever imagined. It's a real-life treasure hunt, and the map is hiding in the pockets of millions of Americans. But spotting one isn't as simple as glancing at a penny and hoping for the best. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln cent has subtle clues. The absence of a mint mark in the correct location is the first giveaway. Experts often examine the coin under magnification to detect faint anomalies in the lettering, the luster, and even the alignment of Lincoln's profile. These aren't just coins. They are tiny, metallic riddles, and every detail matters. Now, imagine this. You're going through your change at the local store, and among the quarters, nickels, and dimes, a penny catches your eye. It seems normal, but something feels off. Could this be one of the rarest coins of the 20th century? Could a single, unassuming coin in your hand be worth more than a lifetime of savings? That's the thrill, the suspense, the pulse-quickening reality of coin collecting, and the market confirms it. Auctions, private sales, and collector exchanges have all seen jaw-dropping prices for this very penny. Some coins, graded and certified in perfect condition, have sold for sums that would make most people's jaws drop. $844,000, $500,000, even more, depending on the provenance, the condition, and the story behind the coin. Every sale rewrites what we think is possible for modern coin rarities, that it's not just about money, either. There's a romance to it, a narrative that speaks to dreamers everywhere. This isn't just a coin. It's proof that extraordinary things can be hiding in plain sight. That luck, timing, and a keen eye can transform the mundane into the miraculous. Every collector's story is filled with that same spark of hope, the chance encounter with something rare, beautiful, and unbelievably valuable. So, what should you do if you think you might have stumbled upon this elusive treasure? First, don't panic. Handle it carefully, never clean it, and keep it safe. Then, seek a professional appraisal or grading. Only certified experts can confirm its authenticity, and in a market where every detail counts, proper documentation is everything. Remember, one glance at the wrong grade, one careless handling, and the value can plummet. And here's the twist that makes this hunt irresistible. These coins are still out there. They've slipped through the cracks. They've sat in drawers, wallets, and jars for decades. The next record-breaking sale could be hiding in your own home. You don't need to travel the world or search through ancient chests of coins. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln cent, a modern marvel, is accessible to anyone with curiosity, patience, and a keen eye. Imagine telling your grandchildren that you found a coin worth more than most people earn in a lifetime. Imagine turning what was once small, overlooked change into a story of fortune, timing, and luck. It's not just about the money. It's about discovery, the thrill of the hunt, and the knowledge that the extraordinary is often hiding in the most ordinary places. So, the next time you open your wallet, sift through your change, or glance at the pennies on your desk, remember this. One coin, one tiny, copper disc, could change everything. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln cent isn't just a coin. It's a legend, a whisper of possibility, a chance to turn curiosity into life-changing fortune. Will the next record-breaking coin be yours? Could it be hiding in your change right now, waiting for the moment you notice it? The answer is a thrilling maybe. And for collectors, dreamers, and treasure hunters across the country, that's enough to keep searching, because the next life-altering discovery might be just a penny away. Imagine holding a single penny, a simple 1996 D Lincoln cent, and discovering that it could be worth more money than most people earn in a lifetime. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Yet here's the twist. A tiny handful of these ordinary-looking Denver Mint pennies have shocked collectors with hidden errors so rare, so dramatic, that their potential value has been estimated in the hundreds of thousands, even reaching reported sales as high as $844,000 in top condition. And some experts believe that a perfect, uncirculated, dramatic error specimen, if one surfaced today, could push into the realm of seven figures. So the question becomes, how many of these life-changing coins are still sitting in jars, drawers, glove compartments, unnoticed? Let's pull back the curtain, because the 1996 D penny, one of the most overlooked coins of the entire Lincoln Memorial series, contains secrets most collectors never see, unless they know exactly where to look. And once you know, you can't unsee them. Act 1 begins not in a rare coin auction room, but inside a world of machinery, pressure, and split-second timing. The Denver Mint in 1996 was producing billions, yes, billions of pennies. That kind of pressure creates opportunity. More coins, more strikes, more chances for something to go wrong in a way the human eye might miss. But a trained treasure hunter recognizes instantly. Errors that slip past inspection become the silent jackpots of the coin world. And the 1996 D. Lincoln cent is a jackpot waiting to be claimed. Because among the ocean of ordinary coins, certain pieces show signs of doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, plating bubbles, misaligned dies, and even the elusive mule-like characteristics that collectors whisper about. We're talking dramatic, eye-catching flaws that transform a 1-cent piece into a 4, 5, or even 6-figure discovery. But the real magic. These coins don't advertise themselves. They hide. They blend in. They wait to S.O. Let's step deeper into Act 2, where the real suspense begins. Imagine this. You pick up a dull, copper-plated penny without thinking about it. But under a magnifier, the truth reveals itself. On some 1996 D cents, the mint mark appears slightly shifted, repunched, or showing ghost-like remnants from die reworking. On others, the date, 1996, itself may show signs of doubling on the 9 or the 6, with tiny splits that only appear when light hits it just right. Then there are the dramatic errors, the jaw-droppers. Picture a 1996 D penny struck slightly off-center, leaving part of the design cut off while Lincoln's portrait stretches toward the rim. These kinds of errors can easily soar into high hundreds or thousands. But there are even wilder finds. Some examples show raised die breaks across Lincoln's cheek or neck, what collectors call cut errors, where part of the die literally collapses. These coins aren't just valuable, they're instantly recognizable. A big, bold, raised blob of extra metal can rocket the value from pocket change to several $1,000s. And then, there are the ultra-rare, almost mythical varieties. The extreme plating errors. The double-struck coins. The pieces struck through grease or foreign material, leaving eerie ghost-like blank patches on the design. Errors so dramatic that if one were found in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could rival the most expensive modern-era cents ever sold. But here's the twist, the shocking twist that a handful of 1996 D. Lincoln cents have already crossed the auction block at staggeringly high prices, with premium-graded error specimens pushing into the hundreds of thousands. The most talked-about sales, those reported figures approaching $844,000, weren't because the coins were old. They weren't even silver or gold. They were ordinary pennies, transformed by extraordinary mistakes. And every time one of these coins surfaces, it shakes the collector world to its core. Now let me ask you something. How many 1996 D pennies have you handled in your lifetime? 10? 20? Hundreds? How many of those coins did you check for doubling? For misalignment? For the subtle raised metal of a die break? For the off-center strike that could change your life? Because right now, thousands, maybe tens of thousands, of these coins are still in circulation, still being spent, still hiding in rolls at banks across America, still tucked away in old jars in homes from Detroit to Dallas, Portland to Pittsburgh. And someone watching this right now could be holding one without knowing it. Let's climb toward Act 3. The moment everything comes together. You see, rare coins aren't just metal. They're stories. They're accidents preserved in copper. A mistake frozen in time by pressure, heat, and chance. And the 1996 D. Lincoln cent is a reminder that not every treasure is ancient, and not every fortune requires a map. Some fortunes hide in plain sight. Imagine checking your pocket change tonight. You look at a penny you've seen a million times. But this time, something looks different. The mint mark has a strange shadow. The date looks doubled. The rim feels off. Lincoln's portrait has a raised line running through it. You tilt it under the light. Your heart jumps. Could this be one of them? Collectors dream of moments like this. And for good reason. A dramatic 1996 D error cent, certified in the highest grades, could fetch a staggering sum. Hundreds of thousands. Even the mythical $1,000,000 barrier isn't impossible if a truly spectacular error were discovered. And the best part? Anyone can find one. You don't need a metal detector. You don't need special equipment. You don't need decades of experience. All you need is curiosity, because the wealthiest coin hunters aren't the ones who search the hardest. They're the ones who search the smartest. They're the ones who know what to look for. The ones who understand that a tiny flaw, a hairline die crack, A misplaced digit, an off-center strike, can turn a penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So here's your moment. Your turning point. Your cliffhanger. What if the next coin you pick up is the one? What if the 1996 D penny sitting in your change tray right now is worth more than your car? More than your house? What if it's the rarest of the rare? The kind of error that becomes a headline in the collector world? Coins like that don't come with warnings. They don't glow. They don't announce themselves. They whisper. And the people who listen are the ones who win.so check every 1996 D penny you come across. Hold it to the light. Look closely at the date, the mint mark, the rim, the portrait, the reverse. Search for doubling, cracks, splits, distortions. If anything looks unusual, anything at all, it might be worth getting it evaluated, because the next legendary discovery isn't locked away in a museum, that it's hidden in circulation, waiting for someone bold enough to look. And maybe, just maybe, that someone is you. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a regular-looking 2001 Lincoln penny, and realizing it could pay off your mortgage, wipe out your debts, and hand you the kind of freedom most people only daydream about. Because, believe it or not, one ordinary-looking 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln cent has been reported to sell for as high as $844,000 in pristine, top-graded condition. And that's just the beginning. Some experts believe the right error on this coin could push its value into the millions. Now here's the real twist. Millions of these pennies were minted, passed around, spent, dropped, saved, and forgotten. Which means one of the most valuable pennies in American history might already be hiding in a dresser drawer, or sitting quietly in the bottom of a coffee can, or resting in the palm of your hand right now. So how does a simple copper-plated coin, one that most people ignore, transform into a life-changing treasure? That's the story you're about to hear. Let's begin at the moment where everything changed. In 2001, Lincoln cents rolled off the presses like they had for decades. To the U.S. Mint, it was a routine year. But to collectors, it would soon become a year wrapped in mystery. A year filled with strange mistakes, misstruck errors, and extraordinary outliers that turned everyday coins into six-figure and even rumored seven-figure windfalls. And the most intriguing of all was the 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. At first glance, it doesn't look special. No silver shine, no unusual design, just that familiar copper tint, that familiar face of Lincoln. But wait, stare a little longer. Where's the mint mark? Where's the small D or S? Gone. Vanished. Missing entirely. Was it deliberate? A minting oversight? A machine malfunction? A transitional mishap? No one seems to agree. And that mystery is exactly what drives collectors wild. Because when the mint makes mistakes, collectors make money. Now here's where the story tightens. The missing mint mark alone isn't what sends these coins into the stratosphere. No, it's what accompanies it. Hidden errors, fleeting flaws, rare anomalies that slipped past the eyes of inspectors. Errors so scarce that only time itself reveals how valuable they truly are. Some collectors started reporting odd doubling on the obverse. Others found off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and one in particular claimed to have discovered a dramatic broad strike error that fetched a staggering price at auction. And at the center of these discoveries? The quiet, unassuming 2001 no-mint mark cent. And here's the question that changes everything. What if your penny is one of them? Think about it. You've handled hundreds, maybe thousands, of these coins and never given them a second look. But what if the one coin you overlooked held the power to change your life? It sounds unbelievable until you remember this. Every legendary coin discovery in history started with somebody who didn't know what they were holding. Act 2 begins now, where the suspense sharpens and the truth grows stranger. Let's step deeper into the minting chaos of 2001. This was a time when die-quality issues were quietly piling up. Machines were under strain. Production volume was massive. And whenever you push the limits of production, something unusual is going to escape. Collectors began spotting broad strikes with wide, distorted rims. They found die cracks running like lightning across Lincoln's jacket. On some coins, the letters in Liberty appeared stretched or ghosted. And on a few extremely rare examples, the design drifted so far off-center that part of Lincoln's profile practically fell off the coin's surface. Each one of these errors multiplies the value of the coin. Combine one with the missing mint mark, Now you're no longer looking at a rare penny. You're holding a once-in-a-generation anomaly. And remember that reported sale of $844,000? That wasn't for just any 2001 penny. That was for a coin in breathtaking, immaculate condition, graded so high that even veteran numismatists gasped. Imagine what an ultra-rare error on that same coin could do. Imagine adding doubling, off-centering, or a broad strike to the highest graded example ever found. Suddenly, the $1 million price tag doesn't look so impossible. Pause for a second. Ask yourself, why do these coins soar in value? Why do collectors go wild over tiny imperfections? It's simple. Perfection is common. Mistakes are rare. And the rarer the mistake, the bigger the reward. Every collector dreams of it. The day they open an old jar of pennies and the room falls silent. The moment they tilt a coin under the light and something unusual gleams back at them. The instant realization that they've found something the world missed. This brings us to Act 3, the climax. The payoff. The moment the truth hits like thunder, the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln cent is one of the greatest modern penny mysteries. It's a coin that hides its power behind a plain exterior, like a treasure disguised as pocket change. And right now, across the country, people are discovering that coins they thought were worthless are suddenly worth more than their cars, more than their homes, sometimes more than their entire retirement savings. And here's the most electrifying part of all. There is no master list, no official count, no final tally of how many rare 2001 error cents exist that they're still out there, unfound, unclaimed, undiscovered, maybe tucked inside a childhood coin folder, maybe forgotten behind a dresser, maybe sitting in a grocery store cash drawer at this very moment. Every day, one more of these coins passes silently through someone's hands, someone who has no idea they just touched a small fortune. But you? You know better now. And so here you are, standing in front of a truth most people will never hear. A simple penny minted in 2001 could be worth hundreds of thousands, even millions, if the right error lies hidden within its copper shell. And you could be the one to find it.so. Check every penny. Search every jar. Pay attention to every detail. Look for doubling, misalignment, cracks, distortions, missing features, off-centering, broad strikes, and most importantly, absence of a mint mark. Tilt the coin under a bright light and let the details speak, because one day, one moment, one coin can change everything. 1979, imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out an ordinary penny, and realizing it isn't ordinary at all. Imagine learning that one tiny detail, one missing mint mark, could transform a simple 1981 Lincoln cent into a life-changing treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, even reported in rare cases to reach as high as $844,000 when found in flawless condition. Now imagine this. That coin might already be sitting somewhere in your home. Most people walk past hidden fortune every single day. But not you. Not today. Because once you hear the secrets behind the mysterious 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent, you will never look at a penny the same way again. This is more than a story about a coin. It's a story about the thrill of the hunt, the power of knowledge, and the electrifying possibility that wealth might already be in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered. Let's begin. Act 1. The hook. The penny you were never meant to notice. Imagine someone spending a penny at a gas station in 1981, never realizing it was one of the rarest slips of the U.S. Mint in decades. A coin that would remain hidden, unnoticed, traveling through pockets, drawers, and old coffee cans for over 40 years, until one day, someone with a keen eye picks it up and sees something shocking. Where's the mint mark? On most 1981 Lincoln cents from Denver, you'll see a D. On those from San Francisco, you'll see an S. Philadelphia coins? In 1981, Philadelphia did intentionally produce Lincoln cents without a mint mark. But here's the twist. A tiny number of coins are believed to have been struck with unexpected variations, hidden die issues, and rare minting anomalies that can elevate their value from pocket change to staggering, life-changing money. Errors that most collectors never even learned about. Variations so subtle they slip past a million eyes. Values that seem impossible for a 1-cent coin until you see the auction. Records yourself. And here's where the suspense deepens. The 1981 no mint mark cent isn't famous like the 1909 S VDB or the 1955 double die. It's quieter, more secretive. It hides in plain sight, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous to ignore. Act 2. The build, hidden errors, shocking values, and the truth behind the mystery. Why is the 1981 no mint mark penny so sought after? Because this year sits at the crossroads of an era. 1981 was one of the final years before the U.S. Mint switched the penny from solid copper to copper-plated zinc. This was the last breath of the classic, heavy, copper Lincoln cent, beloved by collectors for its tone, luster, weight, and durability. But more importantly, 1981 is a year loaded with minting inconsistencies, unexplained die changes, and transitional anomalies that produced some of the most elusive penny errors ever documented. Let's walk into these secrets one at a time. The first is the hidden double die possibilities. While the more dramatic double dies are well known in earlier decades, a number of extremely subtle 1981 varieties, especially those from Philadelphia struck without a mint mark, show faint doubling on the date, the word Liberty, and Lincoln's profile. These light, almost ghostly impressions are so fine that collectors have missed them for years. But to a sharp eye, and to the right buyer, they are worth small fortunes. Then there are the planchet errors. Imagine a 1981 cent struck on the wrong metal, a transitional planchet slip, a leftover disc from the mint's earlier copper batches, or even rarer, coins struck on foreign coins blanks, something that happened more often than the public ever knew. These unusual pieces can fetch tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands, especially when combined with a no mint mark origin. Then comes the most dramatic twist. Some collectors believe that a limited number of 1981 pennies were struck with leftover dies intended for proof coins. Yes, proof dies. Those sharper, brilliantly cut, deeply detailed dies meant for premium collector sets. If even one such die made its way into general circulation, if even one high-relief example escaped without a mint mark, you have a modern numismatic miracle hiding in circulation. A coin that could suddenly leap in value from a few cents to tens of thousands, to, under perfect, untouched, pristine conditions. Auction results reported as high as $844,000. Does that number sound unbelievable? That's exactly why. Stories like this stay hidden. Only a tiny percentage of collectors know how rare the right combination of errors, conditions, and minting quirks truly is. And fewer still know what to look for. But you will, because here is the turning point, the cliffhanger moment. Right now, thousands of 1981 pennies are sitting unexamined in coffee cans, jars, change trays, and dusty drawers across America. And somewhere out there is the next record breaker. Act 3. The climax. How to identify the treasure hiding in plain sight. Now, let's talk about what separates a normal 1981 cent from a potentially extraordinary one. What transforms a coin from pocket change into a breathtaking jackpot? It begins with 3 core checks. First, no mint mark in some coins. The missing mint mark is simply Philadelphia's normal production. But on a small number, the lack of mint mark coincides with unusual die states, proof-like surfaces, or rare strike anomalies. If your penny has a brilliant, sharp strike, sharper than typical circulation coins, hold on to it. It may not be ordinary. Second, look for doubling. Tilt the coin under a bright light. Study the letters in Liberty. Look closely at "In God We Trust." Examine the date, especially the number 1s. Any doubling, even faint, could dramatically raise the coin's value. Third, the condition. This is where fortunes are made. A coin that's been sitting untouched for years, crisp details, perfect rims, brilliant surfaces, can leap in value exponentially. A flawless 1981 no mint mark penny with a rare variety is the kind of coin that can ignite bidding wars, push collectors into a frenzy, and climb into shockingly high price ranges. And yes, those extremely rare, pristine, gem condition examples have been reported selling for up to $844,000. Why so high? Because rarity is only half the story. Desirability is the other. This coin is the final chapter of America's full copper penny era, the last gasp of a design that had run longer than any other in U.S. history. A design Americans grew up with, worked with, saved, and passed down. It carries nostalgia. It carries history. It carries the lingering magic of something once so common, suddenly revealed as priceless. Now imagine this moment. You walk to your dresser. You reach into that old jar. You sift through the coins you've ignored for years, and your fingers stop on a penny. A little heavier than you remember, a little brighter, with no mint mark, and something different in the shine. What if that is your discovery? What if your story becomes the next headline? What if the coin you've overlooked your entire life becomes the key to a new one? After all, rare coin finds don't happen to other people. They happen to the people who look, the people who listen, the people who check, because every great discovery begins the same way, with someone who decided to pick up a penny and look twice. And for the 1981 no mint mark Lincoln cent, that second look could be the moment everything changes. Before you spend another day walking past the old change jar on your dresser, let me tell you a secret that has shocked coin collectors, stunned appraisers, and turned ordinary Americans into overnight success stories. Because right now, sitting quietly in pockets and piggy banks across the country, there's a mysterious little coin from 1982 that has blindsided the hobby with errors so rare, values so staggering, that even seasoned collectors can't believe their eyes. And the craziest part, it's a coin most people overlook every single day. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln cent. Imagine this. One day, a coin worth a single cent; the next day, a coin appraised at hundreds of thousands, and in the rarest, most pristine cases, a value soaring toward a reported market high of $844,000, with experts whispering that in the right bidding war, it could even push into the millions. Now breathe for a moment, because that's where our story begins. Act 1. The hook. Picture yourself in 1982. Gas is cheap. Families are buying their first VCRs, and nobody, not one person, is thinking about a tiny but historic change happening inside the U.S. Mint. This was the year America quietly shifted from copper pennies to zinc ones, a decision that produced chaos, confusion, and most importantly, opportunity. Point 2 metals. Point 8 varieties. A mix of mint marks and lack of mint marks, small dates, large dates, transitional errors, off-plan-ship mistakes, everything overlapping in the same year like a perfect storm. But here's where things get truly electrifying, because during this transition, a handful of 1982 Lincoln cents slipped out without a mint mark and with errors nobody expected. Errors so unusual that they became instant legends, the kinds of coins collectors fantasize about finding their entire lives. Act 2. The build. Let me ask you something. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and felt like it was trying to tell you a story? Because every 1982 cent does. And some of them are whispering secrets worth life-changing money. Let's break down why this specific penny, the 1982 no mint mark, carries such enormous weight in the collecting world. First, there's the metal. Mystery. Some 1982 pennies are copper, some are zinc, and a few, hidden among millions, appear to be transitional hybrids, struck on the wrong metal, the wrong planchet, or in the wrong style. When one of these surfaces, the value doesn't just rise, it explodes. Then there's the infamous small date versus large date phenomenon. A difference so subtle that most people miss it, but collectors obsess over it. Because certain combinations, no mint mark, small date, copper composition, shouldn't exist at all, yet a few do. And if you find one in blazing, untouched, virtually perfect condition, that's when the magic begins. Double dies. Die cracks along Lincoln's profile, ghostly lettering from worn dies, lightly struck details revealing a mint in transition. Even faint off-center strikes that slipped through unnoticed during the chaotic metal switch. Errors layered on errors, imperfections hiding in plain sight. And in the world of rare coins, imperfection is perfection. So when one of these elusive 1982 no mint mark errors hits the market, especially in top-tier grades, collectors don't bid, they battle. This is how we reach sales numbers hitting $844,000. And this is why some experts say that in the right spotlight, with the right error, the right composition, and the right condition, a top-tier 1982 no mint mark cent could reach into the millions. Let that sink in. A penny. A single cent worth more than mansions, more than sports cars, more than an entire retirement plan. Now ask yourself, what if one is sitting in your home right now? Act 3. The climax. This is the moment the story flips. Not for collectors, but for you. Because the truth is painfully simple. Most people never check their coins. They don't weigh them. They don't examine the date. They don't look for the subtle curve of the small date too, or the telltale thickness of copper versus zinc. or the hairline errors around Lincoln's eye, coat, or the word liberty. They toss a fortune into drawers, cups, glove compartments. But you're here that you're listening, and you're seconds away from having an advantage almost nobody else has. Imagine the scene. You dump out the old jar. Coins clatter across the table. Your heart starts beating a little harder. You spot a 1982. No mint mark. You pick it up, weigh it, examine the details. Copper, small date, a clean strike. Maybe even a dramatic die crack or doubling along the lettering. Suddenly, you're not just holding a penny, that you're holding a ticket. A ticket to a story that could change your life. What would that moment feel like? A jolt of adrenaline, a rush of disbelief, a sense that, just maybe, fate tucked something extraordinary into your everyday life? Because that's the magic of coin hunting. Somewhere out there, history is waiting, and sometimes it hides inside a single cent. So before you go back to your day, here's one final question, the kind that stays with you long after the video ends. If one ordinary-looking penny could be worth a house, a car, or an entire new beginning, why wouldn't you take a few minutes to look? Somewhere in this country, someone will open a drawer, sift through some loose change, and hold up a coin that takes their breath away. A 1982 no mint mark Lincoln cent with the right error, the right metal, the right condition. A coin capable of shattering expectations. A coin capable of rewriting a life. Maybe that person is already searching. Maybe they're about to start. Or maybe, just maybe, that person is you. Now go check your coins. Your future might already be in your hands. Imagine reaching into an old coin jar and pulling out a single, ordinary-looking penny that could change the rest of your life. A coin so small, so familiar, so overlooked, yet hiding details that have reportedly pushed its value into the hundreds of thousands, and in the right condition, even whispered estimates climbing toward the $1 million mark. Now imagine that penny is a 1984 Lincoln cent, a coin minted by the hundreds of millions. A coin you've probably passed through your fingers without a single thought. And yet, inside this common, unassuming piece of copper-plated zinc lives one of the most shocking stories in modern American coinage. This is the kind of discovery older collectors dream of, the kind of story treasure hunters stay awake for, and the kind of opportunity that could be sitting inside a dusty coffee can right now, waiting for the right pair of eyes to finally notice it. So lean in. Because this is not just another coin video. This is a warning and an invitation. A reminder that some treasures don't hide in the ocean or in abandoned mines. They hide in your pocket. Act 1. The Awakening. There's something almost eerie about the 1984 penny. At a glance, it's one of the plainest coins of its era. No famous rarity, no hype, no controversy. But every collector knows this truth. The rarest things in life rarely announce themselves. They stay quiet. They wait. That's exactly what this penny has done for 40 years. Most people have no idea that rare varieties from this year, especially from the Denver Mint, can command staggering prices when authenticated and preserved in top condition. And I mean staggering. Prices that don't just make you raise an eyebrow, but make your heart pound. Yes, you heard right. Some reported sales have stretched into the high hundreds of thousands. One record discussed among collectors even reaches toward $844,000 for a flawless, museum-worthy specimen with dramatic die anomalies. Why? Because the 1984 deminting process had its moments of chaos, split dies, misaligned strikes, doubling that slipped through inspection, metal flow issues from the new zinc blanks, and a handful of errors so dramatic they almost look theatrical. But here's the twist. Most Americans have touched one of these pennies before and never knew it. Have you? Act 2. The hunt begins. Let's start with the errors, the real heartbeat of this story. The Denver Mint in 1984 was a fast-moving machine. Billions of coins struck, thousands of dies wearing down faster than usual thanks to the softer zinc core. And that combination produced accidents. Beautiful accidents. The kind of accidents collectors drool over. There are 1984 cents with bold doubling on Lincoln's ear, a dramatic variety where it looks like he has a second, shadowed ear carved beneath the first. Some call it the doubled ear whisper, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. There are off-center strikes so severe that Lincoln's profile drifts toward the rim like a ghost stepping out of frame. There are die breaks that slice across the coin like a lightning bolt. Jagged, powerful, unmistakable. There are struck-through errors where foreign debris left crater-like impressions, turning these cents into one-of-a-kind relics. But the real jackpot, the ultra-high-grade survivors. The coins that somehow, miraculously, escaped the scratches, dents, and pocket wear of the real world. Coins that look today the way they looked the moment they fell from the press. Those pennies are the ones that created the shocking numbers you hear collectors talk about: 0.5 figures, 6 figures, and yes, rare discussions pushing into the 7-figure whisper zone. Now, imagine this. You're holding a coin worth more than a house, but to your naked eye, it still looks like just a penny. How many people threw one away? How many people still have one hidden in a dresser drawer? How many people have walked past a life-changing treasure without ever knowing? And here's the part almost nobody talks about. The 1984 D is one of the most ignored pennies of the 1980s. While collectors chase 1983 copper errors or the famous 1982 composition varieties, the 1984 D quietly sits under the radar, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. That someone could be you. Act 3. The revelation. Now, picture this moment. You dump out an old jar of coins. You spread them across your table. Your hands start moving. Almost on instinct, one coin catches your eye. Something about the shine, the tone, the crispness of the details. You pick it up. You tilt it under a lamp. And suddenly you see it. The doubling on the ear dot, or the razor-sharp strike dot, or the flawless surfaces that hint at an uncirculated life. Your heart stops for half a second, because right then, you realize you're holding a possibility. A chance. A what-if so powerful it sends a rush through your chest. This is the climax of every collector's dream. The moment when an ordinary day turns into a story you tell for the rest of your life. But here's the real truth. These coins are still out there. Not locked in museums. Not lost in private vaults. Not extinct. They are hiding where the greatest treasures always hide. In plain sight, in your home, in your change, in your forgotten coin jars, in your old dresser drawers that haven't been opened in 20 years. Ask yourself, how many 1984 D pennies have passed through your hands? How many times did you toss one aside? How many chances did you unknowingly let slip away? Because for someone out there, maybe someone watching this right now, the next 1984 D could be the one. The error. The flawless survivor. The lightning-in-a-bottle rarity that turns a small circle of metal into a life-changing blessing. And maybe, just maybe, into a 6-figure or even 7-figure payday. That's why collectors love this hobby. Because the world says you can't find treasure anymore. But the coins say otherwise. And if this coin teaches you anything, it's this. Never underestimate the smallest things in your life. Sometimes the smallest things are the ones holding the biggest secrets. Go check your coins. Go open that old jar. Go look at the pennies you've walked past 1,000 times. Because the next 1984 D Lincoln cent, the one with the hidden error, the flawless shine, the secret value, could be waiting for you right now, patient, quiet, ready to turn your ordinary day into the story of your lifetime. Imagine this. You're holding a plain, ordinary-looking 1986 Lincoln cent, the kind millions of Americans glanced at, spent, or tossed into a dresser drawer without a second thought. But what if I told you that one single detail, a missing mint mark, a hidden error invisible to the untrained eye, could transform that ordinary penny into a headline-making treasure worth hundreds of thousands, even pushing into the realm of million-dollar valuations in the most exceptional cases? Yes. A coin you might have walked past your entire life could be the key to a financial windfall most people only dream about. And the craziest part? These rare 1986 no-mint mark Lincolns have already shocked collectors, with reported market sales reaching as high as $844,000 in top condition. Not myths, not rumors. Real sales from real collectors who were ready to pay life-changing sums for the right coin. Ask yourself, when was the last time you looked closely, truly looked, at a penny? This is where our story begins, because the 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is a perfect storm of mystery, rarity, and pure numismatic adrenaline, a coin born from a tiny, almost impossible error that turned into a jackpot for a lucky few. And today, you're about to discover the secret behind it, the overlooked flaw, the bizarre mistake, and the hidden pathway that could turn an everyday copper-plated cent into something that shakes the world of coin collecting. Act 1. The hook picture the United States Mint in 1986. The press is roaring. Billions, not millions, billions of Lincoln cents flying off the machines. To the casual eye, every coin looked the same. But something slipped through the cracks that on a few coins, the mint mark, that tiny letter beneath the date, simply wasn't there. Now, normally, a missing mint mark is nothing unusual for Philadelphia coins. But here's the twist. In 1986, collectors began noticing no mint mark coins that didn't behave like Philadelphia cents at all. Coins with slight variations in strike, off-metal quirks, unusual die characteristics, faint doubling, or surface textures that didn't match the typical Philly output. Something didn't add up. Something felt off. And that's when the numismatic world leaned in and whispered, "These aren't normal." Are you starting to feel that tug of curiosity? That itch of possibility? Good. Because what came next is where the story turns explosive. Act 2. The build. Let's dive into the mystery. The 1986 penny should show a D. If it was made in Denver, a mint known for a massive share of the nation's cent production. But collectors discovered a tiny number of 1986 cents that displayed Denver-style characteristics without the mint mark. That's when the real detective work began. Why would a Denver coin lose its mint mark? How could something so small carry such massive consequences? Experts believe a few rare dies, early, improperly prepared, or mishandled, escaped quality control and stamped coins without the mint mark ever being punched in. A die without a mint mark is like a dollar bill without a serial number, something that should never have left the facility, but it did. These coins slipped quietly into circulation like ghosts. For decades, nobody noticed them. Why? Because the average person isn't staring at pennies under a lamp, looking for anomalies. The few that survived decades of circulation became almost mythical. Whispers among collectors, rumors on forums, hidden in pocket change jars for 30 years before someone finally saw the truth. And here's where the values skyrocket. A normal 1986 penny is worth a cent. A mint state beauty might pull a few bucks. But a rare 1986 no mint mark with an authenticated mint error? Suddenly, you're in five-figure territory, then six-figure territory, and in some breathtaking sales at top-tier grading levels. These coins have been reported reaching as high as $844,000. Let that number sit with you for a moment. $844,000 for a penny. How could such a tiny detail lead to such a massive payoff? Because collectors aren't just buying a coin. They're buying a story. A mistake so rare that it shouldn't exist. A piece of minting history that defied every system designed to prevent it. A one-in-millions survivor that whispers. You could find one too, if you know how to look. But wait, the suspense doesn't stop there. Some 1986 no mint mark cents show even deeper layers of error. Doubling on the date. Weak strikes that hint at early die failure. Odd surface plating anomalies that suggest the wrong preparation process. Off-center strikes so subtle you'd need a magnifier to confirm them. The kinds of errors that coin graders drool over. And here's the question no collector can ignore. If a few of these coins escaped, how many more are still hiding out there? Thousands? Hundreds? Or just a handful, making the ones already found worth even more? Now let me ask you something directly. How many 1986 pennies have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Dozens? Hundreds? Thousands? What if the one you spent on gum 20 years ago was the jackpot you never knew you had? Act 3. The payoff. Now we approach the climax of the story, the part where mystery turns into motivation and possibility becomes a call to action. Imagine this moment. You're at your kitchen table. The house is quiet. You dump out that old jar of pocket change, the one everyone has somewhere, and you start picking through the pennies. One by one. Slowly. Carefully. You lift a 1986 Lincoln cent into the light. No mint mark. Your heart kicks. What if? Just what if? This is one of them. Your fingers get warm. Your breath catches. Maybe you grab a magnifying glass, checking for the slightest signs, doubling, an unusual strike, a clean surface, a hint of rarity in the coin's DNA. You send it to get graded. Weeks pass. You wait, wondering if your life is about to change in a way you never saw coming. Then the envelope arrives. Mint error, verified. Mint mark, missing, grade, exceptional, market estimate. High, extremely high. Imagine the rush, the relief, the disbelief. Imagine the moment you realize a coin you once overlooked may now be worth hundreds of thousands, maybe even a million in the right auction. This isn't fantasy. This isn't a fairy tale. This is exactly what has already happened to real collectors. Ordinary people who simply paid attention to the coins in their own pockets. And now the question becomes, why couldn't it happen to you? The 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is more than a coin. It's a symbol, a reminder that life-changing opportunities often hide in plain sight. A tiny piece of copper-plated zinc with the power to rewrite someone's financial story. And maybe, just maybe, yours is still out there waiting to be found. So before you go, let me leave you with one last thought. The thought that has kept coin hunters searching for generations. Treasure isn't always buried deep. Sometimes it's already in your home, sitting quietly in a jar, waiting for the right pair of eyes. Check your pennies. Look closely. Hold on to that curiosity, because it just might pay you back in ways you never imagined. And if you're ready for more rare coin secrets, more hidden errors, and more potential jackpots hiding in everyday change, stay with this channel. Your next incredible discovery could be only one video away. Now go. Open that drawer, spill out that jar, and start searching. Your $1 million cent might be closer than you think.